City. Gay City leads 40-39, 6:42 to go. Shots up, shots good. By Dean. So, Dean so far, he's missed, one free throw, I believe, all night long.
Yep, when you jinxed him back in the third quarter.
Yes, I'm not going to say that again. But he only has 29 points through 3 quarters.
Okay.
Dean with 29, Reed with 2, Compton with 3, George with 4, Starnes with 2. Second shot's up, no good. Knocked out of bounds, though, by Trey Mullins. He's going to stay with K-City. Reed went up against Mullins. That was a little bit of a mismatch there. But Mullins not able to handle the ball, and it goes out of bounds. So Mack feeds it into Compton. Compton gives it back to Dean, back at the volleyball line. Dean looks to drive inside, kicks it back over, tries to pass to Mack, stolen away by McCamus. McCamus brings the ball down, pressured by Mack, pulls up from just inside three-point line, shot no good. Rebounded by Dean. Dean looking to bring it down the court, looks to drive in, nothing doing. Kicks it back over to Compton. Compton tries it, nothing there for him, so he gives it back to Dean. Dean throws it back out to George at the volleyball line, top of the key, 6:07 to go. JC decides to slow it down a little bit. Compton now with the ball, pressured by Allison, feeds it into Dean. Dean pulls up from the free throw line. It's good. 43-39, Gay City leads, 5:53 to go in the game. Allison with the ball, feeds it back to a trailing Mullins, who joined the fray. Mullins hands it over to McCamus, and McCamus gets almost put into a sleeper hold. That's going to go against David George. He picks up his 4th foul. George has played really well tonight. We need to keep him in the game. We've already lost Hensley. Now George is down for now. That's some height K-City's giving up. Sally checks back in. Brody Allison inbounding the ball. He gets it to Elijah Hayes. Hayes passes the ball inside to McCamus. McCamus pulls up. That's no good. Reed does a Superman dive trying to come down with the ball. Lands out of bounds, though. And it's going to remain with Wise Central. So 5:36 to go in the game. Gay City leads 43-39. Mack checks out. Eli Starnes back in. Hayes feeds the ball into McCamus. McCamus bounce pass over to Jordan Bishop. Bishop kicks it over to Hayes. Hayes looks to drive in. Forgets to dribble, though. And the officials are right on it. So, 5:29 now to go. And Mr. Sally inbounds to Mr. Starnes. Eli brings the ball across the timeline. Feeds it over to Mr. Dean. That's Dean, not Bean. Kicks it back over to Starnes. Starnes with the ball almost to the timeline. He better watch himself. He works it forward a little bit. Lots of pressure, though, from Jordan Bishop. Starnes hands it over to Compton. Interesting little zone that Wise is running. They're bringing it out almost to the timeline, trying to, I think, pressure Gay City into turning the ball over. So Dean with the ball now, passes it back over to Compton. Compton bounce pass back to Dean. Dean to Starnes. Gay City, I think, trying to burn some time off the clock. They don't have much of a lead, though, for that. Starnes bounce pass inside to Reed. Good patience by Reed. He goes up strong. Shot's good. Just as quickly, Jordan Bishop has the ball. He passes across court to Allison. Allison tries a bounce pass to McCamus, stolen away by Reed. Reed gives the ball back to Dean. 45-39, Gay City leads. 40-25 to go. Gay City crowd on their feet. Literally encircling halfway around the arena right now. Compton has the ball. He's looking to drive inside. Nothing doing. Kicks it back out to Sally. Sally wanted to give to Starnes. Thought better of it. Chooses Compton instead. Compton hands it over to Dean. Dean tries to drive inside from the left-hand side. Bounce pass to Reed. Reed can't handle it. Goes out of bounds. It was a bounce pass that Reed would have needed to break on. I think Dean thought Reed was going to. Reed was more looking to drive into the basket instead. So they weren't exactly synced up on that one. 45-39, Gay City leads. 4:01 to go. Joe's 6-point lead, which is about the biggest lead of the game, but 2 quick 3-pointers by Wise, and we're tied up.
Yeah, they do.
Bishop has the ball now with his back to the goal, hands it over to Hayes. Hayes back at the top of the key, kicks it over to McCamus in the corner. McCamus pulls for 3. It's no good. Rebounded by Dean. McCamus kind of gone cold here lately, which is helping Gate City. Sally now with the ball in the corner, hits a streaking Compton. Compton feeds it over to Reed. Reed back to Compton. Compton thinks about the 3. Feeds it over to Dean instead. Dean's bump, no call. Stolen away by Hayes. Hayes pulls up. Shot's no good. They're going to get Sally on the foul, though. Hayes drove in just inside you can imagine the arc underneath, and pulled up right in front of it and got bumped by John. So Sally picks up his first foul. Both teams with 7, and Wise Central wants a timeout to think about things, trailing 39-45. Let's see, no indication yet on how long the timeout's going to be. It's going to be a full one.
It's a full one. Let's take it with them. Again, 45-39. You're listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.
Proudly representing Southwest Virginia in the House of Delegates for the last 24 years, Terry Kilgore continues to strive and work hard for others. Just like our Gate City Blue Devils proudly represents our school, our town, and community. Delegate Kilgore, a proud Gate City alumni himself, wants to thank the residents of the 1st District for their trust and support over the years as he's continued to voice our needs and concerns in Richmond to make our region a tremendous place to live and work. And on behalf of Delegate Kilgore and his family and staff, they say, go Big Blue.
All right, exciting 4th quarter. Again, Gate City leads by 6. Let's send it to the CNC Connection.
I like that. CNC Connection as we're coming out of the timeout. 3:22 to go, as you said. Gate City leads 45-39. That's about the largest lead of the game, if I'm not mistaken. It's been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The lead has changed 12 times so far. Elijah Hayes at the line. Shot's up. Shot is no good. So the 5 on the floor for Gate City: Compton, Starnes, Reed, Sally, and Dean. Second shot's up by Hayes. It's good. So 45-40 now. Reed with the ball. Getting an immediate trap in the backcourt. He manages to break it. Tries to toss it and lead it to Compton. Led him a little too far. Goes out of bounds. Goes back to Wise Central. Gate City does not need to do this. This is the time to ice this game. 3:14 to go. They lead by 5. McCamus now with the ball. Steps across the timeline. Starnes all over him. Hands it over to Elijah Hayes. And they're going to get him with the charge. Hayes knocked down Starnes. And that's 5 for Mr. Hayes. He's going to finish up with 7 points on the night. Starnes hit the ground with a thud. And Trey Mullins now up on his feet, trying to encourage the team. And he's questioning the officials' integrity at this moment, it appears.
Oh, my word.
So, we have a timeout. It's a full one. Do we want to take it or we want to stay here?
Let's take it with them. Again, we'll come back quickly. I'll let you have some of the stat time coming up. Again, you're listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.
You are listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.
All right, back quickly to Chris. What do you got? Is there anything stat-wise that jumps out to you here in the 4th quarter?
Well, so far it's Gate City's free throws. They have been absolutely on fire. Dean has missed 2, and that is it. I'd have to count up the exact numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13. They've made 17 free throws, missed 2 so far tonight.
Wow, 17 to 19.
So, 3:06 to go. 45-40. Gate City leads. and I think the officials have just warned someone in the Y Central crowd. And the police are coming in on the corners. So, Joe, if I'm not heard from again, you'll know why. It's right behind us. So, Dean with the ball now. Passes over to Compton. Compton drives in. Ball swatted away by Grayson Bailey. Rebounded by Brody Allison. And here come the Warriors. 2:45 to go in the game. McCamus with the ball. Getting pressured by Reed. Feeds it over to Bricky. Bricky being guarded by Compton. Brings it back out. Didn't like what he saw. Kicks the ball over to Brody Allison. Allison works it inside. That goes to Jordan Bishop. Ball rolls around twice and drops in. 45-42 now. Gate City leads by 3 with 2:20 to go in the game. Starnes with the ball across the timeline. Bounce pass over to Compton. Compton feeds it to Reed. Reed with the ball. He's going to have to dribble. Going to have to move with it. Tosses the ball to Compton. Compton out top of the key. Hands it over to Sally. Sally back to Compton. 2 minutes to go in the game. Gate City trying to burn time off. Dean with it. Wrong pass across the court to Reed. Reed kicks it back out to Compton. Compton to Dean. I'm not too comfortable with this with only a 3-point lead. It's only going to take one bad pass, which we almost had. McCamus bumps the ball out of bounds, then turns and screams at the official when they say it goes to Gate City. Joe, he's almost out of control right now. I know it's player intensity, but you've got to keep your emotions in check. You give the school a really bad look. Now Coach McCamus is out on the court past the volleyball line yelling at the officials. But when a player loses his cool like that and just screams at the official, first of all, I would give him a technical personally. But like I said, Wise is full of nice, wonderful people, and that just gives the school a really bad look.
Yeah, indeed. So, 45-42?
Yes, that's what I was about to say. 45-42, Gate City leads. I'm not sure the exact time to go because here at UVA, they got the clock that counts down the time.
So they did give him a 30-second timeout. Is that correct?
Well, by the time it was all sorted, I guess it was full because now we're down to 19 seconds. So we probably could have taken that. My apologies. I got a little worked up there.
It's all good.
I was watching the police out of the corner of my eye closing in on something happening just over to my left. We got fans screaming on the right.
Oh, so
Dean set to inbound now. About a minute and a half to go. 1:43. Compton with the ball. Compton looking to drive. Lots of pressure, though. Hands it over to Reed. Reed tries to go in. He's being double-teamed by Brody Allison. Reed's going to step out of bounds. It's going to go back to Wise. 1:34 to go in the game. Wise trails by 3. 45-42. McCamus with the ball. Inbounded by Bricky to McCamus. McCamus gets it across the timeline. Got picked up by Dondre Back. Throws it back down to Bricky. Reed's all over him. Kicks it back out to McCamus. McCamus looks to drive in. Throws it back out instead to Allison. Allison for 3. No good. Rebounded by Reed. Reed throws it out to Compton. 1:10 to go. Compton with the ball. Trapped at the timeline. And Gate City's going to call a timeout. Whew. So, 1:08 to go. 45-42. Gate City leads. It's going to be a 30-second one.
All right.
So, if you're Gate City at this point, you've got to be, at least I would be thinking, well, now maybe hold the ball until we get fouled, and then got to make the free throws here, bottom line. They've been on fire shooting the free throws tonight. So, that's my thoughts on the matter. What are you thinking?
Definitely need your best ball handlers in. Again,
well, speaking of the 5 on the floor, we've got Dean, Compton, George, Reed, and Mack. Compton seems to be discussing something with the officials as well. Maybe the officials will need to produce their licenses.
Chris's credentials here after the game.
So, Compton with the ball. Toss it in the backcourt to Dean. Dean immediately picked up by McCamus. Dean gets the ball across the timeline, bounce pass to George. George is fouled. They're going to call that on McCamus. He bumped him. McCamus continues to argue with the official.